In rapid SAR cycles, decisions are made quickly. Compounds are designed, synthesized, tested, and compared in days. But when analytical data is imperfect, those decisions can be unintentionally misdirected, leading discovery down the wrong path. Small analytical uncertainties can distort how we interpret structure-activity relationships, or SAR, and ultimately misdirect our entire project. Discovery demands speed, but speed only works when the data guiding our decisions is trustworthy enough to support interpretation. We need to move fast, but moving fast with bad data is like driving a race car blindfolded. The key is to balance the need for speed with the certainty that our data is reliable. So, what exactly is analytical risk? It's when issues with data quality affect how we interpret the results. The compound itself might be correct, but the conclusions we draw from the data could be completely wrong. It's the hidden danger that can undermine even the most brilliant scientific strategies. Let's consider a common scenario. Impurities. An impurity with its own biological activity can cause us to misattribute the observed potency to the compound we intended to test. What looks like a promising hit might just be the activity from a tiny, unnoticed component in the sample. This is a classic trap that can waste months of effort. Another major issue is degradation. A compound can break down, reducing the concentration of the molecule we want to test, or even generating new species with different activity. A promising molecule might appear completely inactive simply because it changed before or during the assay. It's not that the idea was bad. The molecule just didn't survive long enough to be tested properly. This brings us to misassigned potency trends. If the purity of our samples varies from one compound to the next, the potency trends we observe might just reflect these differences in concentration, rather than true structure-activity relationships. We might think we're seeing a clear trend, but we're actually just chasing ghosts in the data, caused by inconsistent sample quality. The quality of our chromatography is also critical. Insufficient chromatographic resolution can hide impurities that coelute with our main compound. What looks like a single, clean peak on the chromatogram might actually be two or more components hiding together. This is a hidden risk that can easily go unnoticed without careful method development. Now, while discovery methods don't need full validation like late-stage methods, they do need to be repeatable. If you inject the same sample multiple times and get inconsistent results, how can you have any confidence in your SAR interpretation? Repeatability is the foundation that builds our confidence in the data and the decisions we make based on it. We also have to be aware of detection and response bias. Different compounds can have very different responses in our detectors, like UV or mass spec. This means that the area % of a peak doesn't always reflect the true composition of the sample. An impurity might look small, but if it has a weak response, it could be a much bigger problem than it appears. Even simple sample handling can introduce risk. Things like improper storage, exposure to light, or using an incompatible solvent can all alter a compound's integrity before it even gets tested. This introduces variability that has nothing to do with the compound structure, making our data noisy and difficult to interpret. So how do we spot these problems? Look for the analytical red flags. These include unexpected jumps or drops in potency, inconsistent results between replicates, new peaks appearing in your chromatograms over time, or major discrepancies between different batches of the same compound. These are all warning signs that something is wrong with the data. The good news is that we can reduce this risk with some practical steps. Always verify the purity of your compounds. Before testing, monitor their stability in the assay solvents to make sure they're not degrading. For your most active hits, confirm their identity and purity rigorously. And if you suspect a problem, take the time to improve your analytical separation. When should you escalate these issues? Escalation is necessary anytime the analytical uncertainty is large enough that it could influence your SAR conclusions or decisions about which candidates to advance. If the data is ambiguous, it's time to pause and get a clearer picture before moving forward. Ultimately, the strategic principle here is to protect the interpretation. The goal isn't to generate perfect analytical data for every single compound. The goal is to ensure the data is good enough to protect the integrity of our scientific interpretation and guide us toward the right decisions. In rapid SAR cycles, small analytical uncertainties can amplify into major strategic errors. Managing analytical risk is not just a technical exercise. It protects both the speed of our discovery efforts and the scientific accuracy of our conclusions. In the next episode, we'll explore early solid state and polymorph risk and discuss when the physical form of a compound starts to matter. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights.